guys, now you're going to see probably very frequently, I'm going to jump on here, do a live session where I do some little tips for paranormal investigators, whether you're an amateur or if you are a seasoned investigator. The point of these tips are to kind of get information out there, good information for anyone to use, and to kind of help others out in the field. So today is Throwback Thursday, and on Thursdays, hey Chad. So on Throwback Thursdays, we can share information that really kind of run history, our past investigations, discussing historical locations, anything to do with history is a great thing for today. So today I figured I would jump on here with the tips about history and paranormal investigations. One of the key components to our cases is doing historical research on cases. Case in point, the Masonic Temple. Many moons ago, we did an investigation in January of 2011. One of our first purposes with doing the historical research is to kind of make sure any of the experiences that were had by the individuals in the location, see if anything backed up the information that they gave us. So it's really good if you are a paranormal investigator and you are starting out with your case to try to do research to see if you can get documentation on any type of stories that they may have. If someone has passed away in a location, if some of their timelines are correct, because you never know when stories are passed down and not really given completely truthful information. And it's never, it's never anybody's fault for not giving you the exact information that they should. It's just really good for you to just make sure afterwards, because it doesn't look good on anyone, especially if you are a seasoned investigator and you're using information that doesn't really have any basis in truth. So, like I was saying, I just grabbed one of our case files out of my drawer just to kind of use as an example. The Masonic Temple in Hagerstown, Maryland. We had our researchers do full, all of the deed research. So we actually go into Maryland's Maryland Land Rec website and we trace the deeds back as far as we possibly can. Now in the Temple's case, we only did it back so far as when the Friendship Lodge 84 purchased the property in the 1800s and then actually started building in 1898. So while that building right now, great information is that that building is no longer Friendship Lodge's home. It right now is owned by the Bowman Development Corporation. So it's going to be used as something else. So, each time something passes on, different people and different types of uses could impact the history of a location. And then that there has different types of energy, different types of activity going on in it. So in the end, the spirits that could possibly be in a location could differ. Having a facility be more of a secret society, a lot of rituals are taking place, so it's happening again and again. So you know that if you have something happen that is part of a ritual, then you may have an answer to who possibly is the spirit that's in the location. Then again, if maybe it was somebody who just used the facility every once in a while. So again, using the history could tell you who possibly is in the location. Our historical research technically isn't completely historical research. We do research across the board. We do geographical information. We do rock formations. We do any type of historical components that are in the area. If, we've been told that there used to be a cabin where the Masonic Temple was, and they, at one point during the Civil War, they had soldiers that were injured or killed in action. They laid them on that hill there. So, we don't have actual proof of that. It was just given to us during an interview. So, I just want to put across that any information that you get, you really have to have documentation. Keep notes. It's nice to keep notes of that, but once again, go back and find actual documentation, whether it be newspapers.com, which does charge you, but it's great information. Use Find a Grave. Find a Grave is a great resource for learning, births and deaths of people, where they're at, where they ended up. There's just so many resources out there, and especially in Maryland. So if you are an investigator in Maryland, there is a lot of great stuff that you can do for free to do a historical research. It takes a lot of time. I know deed research, it took me about 2 hours to do the Glade Valley Mill from now, I think, until it was like the 1830s. So just remember, it does take a lot of work, but there are no rewards if you're just having something simple. So I think historical research has a huge impact on a successful investigation, and our clients love it. So just remember, if you have any questions about how to do historical research in your particular state, I'm sure we could try to figure something out, but I've always thought that doing your homework and doing these types of things really kind of builds character for a paranormal investigator, makes you well-rounded, and it makes you appreciate when something comes easy, because it's not easy doing historical research. So I just wanted to put it out there. If you guys have any thoughts or any comments on why historical research is has a big impact on investigation, please let me know. And remember that you can use all of that information when you're doing your investigation. I've discussed with other people about how some people don't want to know the historical research because it really kind of impacts their objectivity. So to me, have your control group that doesn't know anything, and have another group of people that goes out and investigates that does know things. So separate into teams and make sure that one does, one doesn't, and see what you get, and see if the information correlates. It's an interesting type of research to see if what we think we know about a location, how it impacts our investigations, and whether or not we're really just manipulating our equipment ourselves, or if we're actually getting spirit interaction. So that is my thoughts on historical research. We do it for every single case that we do, but like I said, private message me or comment and let me know what you think, or if you have any questions. Ruthie says she thinks it's great for validation of where you are. I received names on a ghost box session at the Triangle and did locate that person. He told me his name, and I asked what group he is in, and he told me. So yeah, just like Ruthie said, I mean, you don't have to do the research before you go into a location. I figure if you go into a spot that you have repeat access to, there's no reason for you to have to do the research before the first time you investigate. So just make sure that you do have that possibility to revisit the location. Do one investigation without it, and then the second investigation, make sure that you have the research. A, to back up anything that you got with the first one, and B, to... that's actually what I'm talking about right now, Sarah. Do you prefer knowing the history prior to the investigation or after? I prefer to know before, just in case it's the only opportunity for you. Sarah Wisner is actually, she just got on here, and she is our researcher. She's amazing. But again, knowing the history before you go into a location that you only have one shot at. If you're only going into a location once, I recommend you have that research before you go in. If you have multiple chances to investigate, just wait. I mean, do one investigation without it and make sure you have it for the second one. So, yeah, our psychic never knows anything before we actually go into a location, unless it's something that is very important, that's, really not important for the history. It's just affecting the client. But yes, definitely, just set your protocols up based on that, based on whether or not you can do repeat investigations, because you can only go in once. You want to maximize what you're able to do. You want to go in with all the knowledge that you can, so you maximize every single second that you're in there. And again, like I said, you can do a control group that knows nothing and have another group that knows all the information possible. And you can even do that with who knows the activity prior to going in. I mean, you could just set it up where, you know, your investigators try to see, you know, like your psychics or your sensitives, see if they pinpoint where in the location you should really set up and where you should focus on. So like I said, anybody have comments, thoughts, or questions, go ahead and post them in the comment section. I'm talking really fast because I was trying to get this through really quickly. I want some of these short videos with tips for people to be posted. Hopefully next time I have a little more of an outline for this, but I just wanted to jump on here real quick on Thursday because to me, the history is my favorite part. I love doing historical research. I don't have time for it a lot because I do a lot of the planning, so I've had to call in help a lot of times to get the historical research done. But, you know, that doesn't stop Sarah, who was our researcher, from throwing things at me and telling me to read them and check them out. We actually had a private residence recently that was very interesting. She had found information on this residence, and she had found a news article that she thought might be associated with a location, and she didn't connect them. She didn't even give me the information, but after kind of her bouncing the ideas and everything off of me, I told her, I said, this is directly related, and it happens that somebody was shot in the attic. Well, the guy shot himself in the attic of the home. So you never know what kind of information you get that will just kind of, you know, have that added impact on the investigation themselves. So thanks everybody for watching. I'm Rebecca Boyer. I'm the co-founder case manager of Antietam Paranormal Society. If you have any questions, send me a message, and if you have any suggestions on what types of tips you'd like to hear, just let me know. Bye guys.